Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode here at the Greek Time Podcast. My name is Abril, and I am from a proud sister of Delta Alpha Sigma Multicultural Sorority Incorporated. And now,
Hi, I'm Joanne Bastidas. I'm from Sigma Lambda Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
and on today's episode, we're just kind of gonna be talking about like the future plans. I'd say after we graduate, what is it that you plan? Do you plan to still be involved with your sorority? An alumni, or what's like a big takeaway that you're gonna take with you from your story that you've learned so far. So
hmm
that's it. And that's kind of what we're gonna be talking about today. Okay, I guess we can start off. Okay, do you guys do have an alumni association? As of now, what are your thoughts about it? Like, do you think you're going to want to join it, or what are your future plans that you see yourself in right now?
For me, I think I would for sure because I know our alumni come, they help us, they donate a lot of stuff like for recruitment. We'd be posting like on our own little group chats, like, hey, like we're doing recruitment, like we would love to have donations. It will really help us out, like with food, with materials that we need. Because like sometimes, like yes, we do have a bunch of stuff in the storage unit, like paints, but they're kind of old and they kind of smell funky. So we're like, I think they kind of need, like, we need new paints. Like, we had to change it up. So, like, they help us a lot. And I know, like, my Mama Ingle is, what's it called? An alumni, but she still comes around. Like she comes around like no other. Like if she can do events, I know like Destiny I can legit name my alumni that come in all the time. Even my big, like my big, as much as she can, she comes in. Even though she's from Dallas, she comes in and then she comes to help us out. So it gives me like a really good perspective. It's like once I become an alumni, I still have my place there, and I can still be in the sorority even though like I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Oh, that's nice. I like it. So for me, I'm okay. So I mean, I say it right now. I think I do want to be in it. Obviously, we'll see down the road if things change. But I think I would like to be in it. I know, at least from like what I've heard from previous sisters that are an alumni, I feel like there's a lot of work that still can be improved for our alumni, and so that's something that I would love to, like, if I do join, kind of see like what the vibe is for myself, and then if there is room for improvement, I feel like there's always room for improvement everywhere you
Mm-hmm.
go. See what I can do, and like still being active, because I do, like you said, like I love going to different events and then seeing alumni go out, and I'm like, oh, that's very nice, like 10 years from now, who knows? I'll still be here. Like, I'm like, she's the old head alumni. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm here. But yeah, so I think, as I said, as of now, but we'll see once I graduate, what happens.
I love that.
But yeah, so that's it. But what do you call it? You had said something about an alumni. I was like, that reminds you of something. What do you call it? Oh, actually, no, I don't know. There was something you said, and I like in my head, I was like, oh, this is. I was gonna ask you a follow up question for it. Okay, real quick, but okay, I know you did say Mama Eagle, right? So,
Yes.
are you allowed to explain what that is?
Yeah, so basically that's I know a lot of people will say it as a different terminology. So it's like educator, PNM director, the person who educates the PNMs of the crossing line that's coming
Mm-hmm.
in.
Oh,
So
cute.
yeah, so we call them mama eagles, and then for the neos, we call them baby eagles that are
Oh,
coming in.
that's cute. That's cute. Yeah, 'cause I was like, I hadn't heard that terminology before. I was like, oh, and I'm like, what is this? It's cute.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see. So, kind of going, what do you call it? So after you get right now, let's say like after you're done with you're doing your bachelor's, right, and everything,
Yeah,
do you plan to go back for your master's, or
yeah,
you like are
I
you?
yeah, because I heard it was really like it's really hard. I'm not gonna lie. And then to be honest, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, of course, I changed my major to health studies, and of course, I still want to go to the nursing program. Like, that's my like thrive. I'm like, I can do it. But then at
Mhm.
exactly the same time, I was like, but what if I can go to a different field and it can be more beneficial for me? Or I was like, let me think. Like, I not just have one section. I can go to a different like program if I really wanted to. So that's like my mind right now. So I want to see later on if I want to get my master's. But that's future decisions, and that's when I have a bigger paycheck.
You're like, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And you?
As of now, I'm not thinking about doing my master's.
Mm-hmm.
So I will, but it said everything can change. But I think so right now, sorry, I thought I heard something and I was like, what is
No, you're good.
it? But as of now, with my bachelor's, I can do what I want to do, which is
Mm-hmm.
be a PE teacher at a high school
Mm-hmm.
or a coach. And then I know sometimes some schools will pay for their teachers to go and get their like let's say like their masters or anything like that. So if I
Yeah.
really want to work up, or let's say like I want to do a change and maybe go do some other stuff with college, then maybe I will go do my masters. But as of now, my bachelor's will get me where I want. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'm like okay with that.
Oh, I love that. Like you just have a backup just in case.
Just in case,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But as of now, I'm like, yeah, bachelor's. That's good. Like, I'm ready for my break. Like I'm ready. But yes.
Oh. I'm trying to think of what questions what can I ask as well. Like,
Ooh.
mm,
So okay, I had one.
oh, go 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 go. Ay!
Okay. Okay. So let's say since you've joined
Mhm.
your sorority, what's something like what do you have like let's say like a biggest takeaway that you had or something that you think that you're gonna use for whenever you graduate?
Mm, the biggest takeaway, I guess, I've never been like I kind of still am. Like I'm still trying to get out of my shell. I'm a very shy person when it comes to situations. Like I get really nervous. I have really bad anxiety sometimes. And so like I can't talk to people, and I feel like joining the sorority actually helped me so much. If like putting myself out there and like saying, "Oh my God, hi, I'm Joanne Bastida." It's like, if you want to know some facts about me, here's some facts. And I was like, even for a job interview, like I was so bad at the part, like saying that one question that every job will put as a describe yourself.
Oh, you're like, that's a
And
good
yeah, and you're
question.
like, oh, I'd be like, well, I was like, I don't know how what to say. And I like if I really said the truth, I'm like, I'm lazy, I don't want to do stuff. I'd rather be at home, have a paycheck that I don't need to work. Like you can't say that. So you're like, so you had to say a different thing. And I feel like 2 years ago, Joanne wouldn't know what to say. But now me, like I have done so much in my sorority and outside that I've gained like leadership roles, communication skills, is way much better. And I feel like when I get asked that question, I'm like, okay, I know the answer. I was like, so I do this and this and this. I'm doing this major. And then I have a script in my head. And I was like, and what I need to say. But I feel like that's what I have learned so much. And then, yeah, just communication. I feel like I was so bad at that. I'm still learning. I'm still learning, of course.
You're like, we're still
But
going up there.
yeah, like I know there's a lot of room for improvement. I think I hate this, but like public speaking is my next step.
I feel like I feel like public speaking is like something that a lot of people actually deal with of like saying like that they're just not used to it or they're just like not comfortable with it. So I feel like that's
Yeah.
a common, or I guess you can say fear, but a common thing people like are always like working on.
No, yeah. Like I don't know how like I know one of my sisters, Jess, homegirl can do public speaking. She can do it on the spot. And I was like, I'm trying to be like you. I need to learn how to do that. And I'm like over here. I remember like during our last recruitment, legit I had to present myself. And when it came to me, I took a big gulp. Apparently, it was not just me who thought it was a big gulp. I have one of my friends or one of the girls that came up to me. She's like, "Joanne, were you nervous?" And I was like, "No." And
Why?
she's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was nervous." She's like, "Oh, yeah, because I can hear your big gulp from here." I was like,
You're like,
"Oh."
I didn't know you guys could hear it.
I was like, "Stop." And she's like, "Yeah, but it's okay. You got it." And I was like, "Bro, what about you?"
I would say so far, I think one of like the biggest takeaways that I'm gonna get is kind of having more of that perspective of like working with different like with people,
Mhm.
like with different people, with different personalities, because within this there's always like a lot of people who have different personalities, so it's like working with them. So I would say definitely that, 'cause I know in the workplace you're going to be working with a lot of people
Mhm.
who are different personalities, and also too, like the biggest thing I feel is though I feel like the common thing people always say is like separating personal from business. And
Yeah.
so I know a lot of people who say it, but do they actually do it? Like, I think that's the other
Mhm.
question. So I feel like definitely, I've been able to see both sides from like me and other people. So
Mhm.
being able to see like, okay, like, oh, they actually did separate personal from business. Okay, so this is how I can do in the regular to work in the workplace. When I'm working with like colleagues, like, okay,
Mhm.
we're gonna work on this together. Whatever other personal stuff we have set aside. So definitely that would be also one, is that phase of like, hey, make sure can separate different things. So
Mhm.
I'm learning like, okay, yeah.
Yes, I feel like that helps out so much because, like, I don't know who I was talking to. I know it was a sister. She's an alum now, like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. But she legit says, like, the process and then SLA, how she was in the beginning, like, she couldn't do it. Like, she couldn't talk to people. She couldn't, like, not get a job, but she wasn't confident on doing interviews at all or, like, giving herself presentation wise. And she's like, now, legit, I can separate business from what's it called, with like sisterhood or like friendships,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to do it every day for my work. She's like, what if I didn't know how to do that beforehand? She's like, I would have quit that job, but since I already did it in my sorority, I did leadership roles, I did this ahead of time. Legit, when the work piles up, I'm not as frantic or anything like that compared to everybody else because I'm already used to it. Like, not used to it, but like you already have a handle on time management and what you need to do. Like, you have to do an outline. Like, I know personally for me, I love outlines, but like she's like, I know how to do outlines. I put everything ahead of time. Like, she's like, I schedule everything, like even like to my hangouts, to events I do, family events. I do that ahead of time for the whole month, and that's how I do my work as well. Like, I have three separate planners, and it's like stuff like that helps out. And then alumni coming in and showing their perspective on to actives and helping them out, because I feel like that's another topic as well. Like, alumni coming in and helping actives, because sometimes we do need help from actives that we don't even see in ourselves, that like we don't need, like, how do I say sorry, that the alumni comes in and they help us out, and we don't even see it. We need to grow more, and the alumni is like, hey, like, you know what, like, I know you're really good at your time management, but you're slipping some things in the crack. Do you need help? Like, what
Mm-hmm.
else can I help you with? Like, do we need another planner? Do you need to sit with me one-on-one? Because I'm open. I'm not a, like, I feel like college students has a lot on their plate, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's going to happen. Like, somebody's going to have slip some in the cracks, like for event ways, or like you just feel overwhelmed in general. And then when your alumni sees it, they're there all the time and always interacted with you, and they're like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you need help? And I feel like that helps out so much as well. Like, you feel like you have a voice, and that your alumni love you so much that they were willing to get out of, like, I don't know how to explain it, get out of their, like, not social life, but like out of their way to go and like help you out and
Mm-hmm.
grow as a person as well, because they were there at one point.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I agree with that, because what do you call it? Like, I feel like whoever's there at your chapter and everything, like, you guys all see things, how your perspective. Like, maybe, yeah, we are doing great, or maybe we're doing, maybe we aren't doing so great, but I
Mhm.
feel like it's always when you have like that outside view that you're like, okay, like, I didn't know this, or I didn't know that you could tell this from us, from an outside perspective, because like, I feel like we're always, whatever we see is what we think. So
Mhm.
then like you said, like it's always helpful whenever you have someone who can come and help you out in the way you're like, oh, okay, I didn't know that on the
Mhm.
outside that it looked like we need help with this side
Mhm.
or why. And like also I think kind of like you were saying how or at least our alumni they've gone through like kind of like what we've gone through with do having to handle both like sorority life, personal life, school
Mhm.
life, everything. And now they're graduated, they're on to the next. So it's also maybe they can give you like little tips on like, hey, this is what I did to help me out, to finish getting through getting my degree and all that stuff. So it's always helpful to have that outside perspective of for them.
No, yeah. And then especially like I don't know about you, but I always love hearing the old stories about like the sorority and how it was and how other sisters are sorry, other sisters are cuz like legit so d- one of my sisters, Biggs, not G's. Well, yeah, she did came too. G's and Big came, and she was like, "Oh my god, like I know you're G." Like she was telling me stories and how SLA was this and this, and she's like, "Yeah, like they were telling their stories and what they did and what were they were hanging out, like all the late nights and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Oh." I was like, that is so cute. And I was like, I love that. So like even alum like have like past stories they will love to pass down and like
Mm-hmm.
or like talk about and it's like yeah like I still feel welcome here even though like I've been gone.
So the stories are always nice because we don't really get to hear about them anymore. Whoever's there is usually like if we say like if someone like much older, an alumni that's like much older, maybe none
Hmm.
of the sisters there know who she is. But then hey, I can tell you stories about this, or like hey, we used to do this, and we used to do this now. Like oh
Hmm.
okay, a little like fun little compare and contrast. Like oh okay yeah, or like, oh we had this tradition now you guys do it like this. Like I'm like oh okay that's cool. I feel like you get to learn a little bit more about your sorority and just about like you said like sisters that you didn't even
Hmm.
know about. Like oh okay, let me go get my little hot coffee. Like
No, yeah,
tell me more please.
I don't know about you but like we have like I guess like we have like when we do a recruitment thing we have a bald eagle
Hmm.
and what's it called we call it Bob. And then we have our alumni coming in and we're like, oh, look, this is Bob. And they're like, you named this stuffed animal? We're like, yes, it's Bob. And they're like, good for y'all. Good for y'all. We love that.
Yeah, it was like you said, because I feel like now what so like a lot of people they always like name their cars too
Yeah.
and everything. So like, bro, people put names to everything. I know people who like have stuffed animals and they have names too and everything.
Mhm.
Like literally, people put names to everything now.
No, seriously. I love it. I'm that type of person. I'm not going to lie.
You're like, why are you describing me? That's me right now.
I'm like, me and my stuffed animals in the back. I'm like, they have all names.
You're like introduce them.
No, they're kind of dirty. I need to go wash them.
They're like they're back there.
Mhm.
But yes, and see, do you have any like specific alumni that you would like to like give thanks to, or like that you're very that how you feel has made an impact on you? Like, is there any specific one you could think about that you're like, ah, this person right here?
I think there's so many. Generally, I can, when I say I can give you a list on alumni that has helped me out. Like, what's it called? I shout out to my big, Nancy, Destiny, Bree, who else? Karina, Desiree. Like, when I say all my alumni, like, bro, like I can keep on going, and like I love them so much, and they always like try to like come in, even though like they're always so busy. They always, I feel like with our alumni, for each person they gave out different advice and then
Mm-hmm.
like I'm saying like a lot but bro I'm blinking.
So they give people different advice.
Yes, they give us different advices from like from sisterhood advice to personal advice to like what we can do for businesses. And then for each sister, they're like, okay, well, I'm really good at this area. I can help you out. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Or I need somebody to just generally talk to, like in that moment, because I don't feel well. Or I don't feel like the greatest, or I'm overthinking of a situation. They're like, no, Joanne, like you're not thinking too hard. Like I see it as well. Like what can we do in this situation? Like, and then we just talk it out. And I feel like at each alumni that I have talked to and my sisters, I cannot have a favorite one because all of them helped me at one point that was very significant for me. And like I hope they realize it. Like I love them so much. But like I can't generally pick a favorite for me. Like I love
Mhm.
them. They always come out legit. I was in an event, I like seen all of them. I'm like, oh my god, like this is like we're not always all in a room, but when we are, like it makes me so happy in my heart. And I was like, I love nice here.
You're like, hello.
Yes, and I was like, why why you took so long? And they're like, well, I got a job. And I was like, it's okay. Forget about your job. And they're like, Joanne, I need to pay the bills. And I was like, oh yeah. I
You're like, I know, but still, you can
was
come
like, you
back
can
more
come
frequent.
around.
Like tell your job you need a day off.
Day off. No, seriously. Some actually do that. They're like, I feel like everybody does that, even for me. But they're like, okay, we need to do an event. Like we'll cancel that for like, I think they do it in like 3 weeks or 2 weeks in advance, and then they come to the events. Like even for probate, a lot of alums like to come with us because we always. I don't know about you. For me, like when I stroll, I don't like strolling like by myself. I'm not the
Mhm.
best stroller. I try, but when they come out, I'm like, oh, I'll be cheering them on in the background.
Yes, I do feel you. What do you call it? I same thing when there's a stroll or like a any type of thing where they're strolling and I see like an old head or an alumni, I'm like okay, I
Yes.
see you over there because sometimes I guess I feel like when you're older you don't have as many opportunities to like stroll as when you're active.
Yeah.
There's always constantly an event or something going on, and so then you see them and then I don't know. We always crack the jokes of like they're like okay, come on, like I know your knees are giving up, but it's okay, like like come on,
Oh
you got it,
no.
I like we always are making like like those like obviously friendly obviously what is it called ironic or not ironic but
Yeah.
those jokes that obviously
Yeah.
they're not meant for reals but yeah we're always saying
It's
like
just a joke.
yes it's a joke don't come at me no but yeah but we tell them like okay come on like so it is
Yeah.
nice to cheer them on like okay like or even sometimes even too to see how I feel like sometimes like there's different alumni or even just like older sisters who like I see them show I'm like oh okay like you guys are a little different like that's tight like
Oh
like
yeah.
I love to see because there's always sometimes like things change a little bit I'm like oh that's tight like I see you like you go or like even what is it I know sometimes like whenever we have our stroll off for our founders
Hmm.
usually there's a lot of more alumni or even old heads who come and I see sometimes like they be strolling with let's say like I guess like sisters or they're showing with just someone that they know like you
Hmm.
can tell like when they stroll like just like actors it's a little different and then when they stroll with someone they know they're like all the energy comes out I'm like okay the energy change okay but yes I do agree with that what you were talking about like the cheering them on and everything like it's
Yes.
nice.
No, I what makes me laugh, I remember like I don't know which alum, but she hasn't strolled in a while. And then we went to an event and she strolled and we're like, you still know the strolls? And we're like, oh, and she's like, yeah, I didn't forget. And we're like, you practice in your room just in case you have like an off day and you just want to come to an event. She's like, maybe. And we're like,
How do you know?
I was like, we're reading telepathically, I see.
Yeah, because I don't know. I always see sometimes what do you call it? Like when I guess I see it more when you go to like if you go to like NPHC events where
Hmm.
they literally have like their alumni who are like always they're like much older and
Hmm.
like but they're still out there strolling. And I'm like that like
Yes.
I want to be like that's my goal. Like honestly, that's always I always say that's my goal. People would say you join
Yeah.
a Greek organization like you join it for life, but I feel like I for sure see that in like NPHC's fraternities and sororities
Hmm.
like they have people from all over the ages go out there and like support. I'm like I'm trying to be like them. Like I want to be that alumni
Hmm.
that comes 25 years from now. I'm gonna go over with my with my kids and everything. Like hey, we're gonna come out represent. Like I want to be that. So I feel
Yeah.
like anytime I go to like say like any NPHC like what's like I said that's where I see it most. Like
Yeah.
I like their alumni they inspire me to want to be an alumni like them.
Yeah.
But yeah definitely like because they said they still be strolling, they still be doing everything. I'm like goals right there. I'm like that's a goal.
I feel like my bones would crack. I would not be that alumni. I would have paddings in my knees. I would have like a hot patch in my back. I feel like I wouldn't able to do that. You one wrong move, you hear everything crack.
Hey, I'm like the next day, just make sure you have me like on like a massager or a spa day because I'm gonna need it. If you
I'm
see me
very ready.
walking, yeah, if you see me walking on cricket, just know it's because I went out and I popped out.
I'm no, yeah. Welcome to be in their sororities in general because like they're always coming back, and that's how you know like when they're like I feel like for me when alumni come back and they put everything into it, they were exactly the same way as actives when they were no, when they were actives.
Hmm.
Like they always took like a big position roles, and I feel like that's really great because sometimes I know for us since we're a little smaller and we do need help, sometimes we don't know like all this stuff, or like we feel like we're doing it or we're second guessing ourselves. And then when our alumni comes in and they already did the positions like president or vice president or even treasurer, we're like, okay, well, I'm kind of scared. Am I doing this right? Like, I know you did this chair previously. Like, how did you do it? And like, can you give me tips on what I need to do? Or am I missing something that I'm not seeing? And they put their input like, oh, you know what? Actually, this is how I did it. It's completely different when other sisters did. And I know it's different from like the notes that everybody's put or that's in the title, but I can give you my perspective on what I can do. And I'm like, oh my God, perfect. Because for me, generally, I'm treasurer for the semester. And I'm not the best with money, but I did budgeting and everything like that. Like I can do it. And I was like, what should I do this fundraiser? Is this good? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I asked another alum who did it, and they're like, yeah, it's perfect. Like just do that. You're fine. Like don't overthink it. You're doing great. Like that's another like list that you can put into like a paper notes for them for future treasurers.
Yeah, I do agree on that. I know what was it? Was it last fall semester? I think it was. We
Mm-hmm.
had we like our chapter. We had because you know how COVID all hit, and so a lot of COVID hit, and a lot of things just went down the hill, or like a lot of
Yeah.
things that maybe like your chapter used to do, like you guys weren't able to do it because of COVID.
Yeah.
Well, we actually last semester we brought back sorry, not last semester, last fall semester. There you go. We brought back an event that we used to do also, like an annual thing. And like I said, it had been, because of COVID, it got shut down. So it
Mm-hmm.
had been a while since we hadn't, since our chapter hadn't done it again. Or that's probably not the right correct
No, you're
pronunciation,
good.
but
I
yeah, we know
understand
what
what
I
you're
mean.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but also same thing, like I reached out to like alumni or like, hey, like we like I see kind of what you guys left, on the trail, like what to like do, but like we know we need more help with it. And boom, there you go, they gave you, we talked with them, and whoever was in charge of like that would that time, or
Mm-hmm.
whoever helped out with it, they came and helped out, and you said like, oh, okay, I didn't know you can do this, or oh, okay, it does help either like reinforce or maybe like redirect you in like the right direction of whatever you're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, always, reach out to your alumni if you need anything, because
Yes. I feel like especially when like you don't have like the best idea on what to do for a certain thing. I'm like, I don't know. And then I asked a certain alumni and they're like, "Oh, I got you. Like I legit did this 2 semesters ago before I what's it called graduated. I can help you out." And I'm like, "Perfect." And I was like with my pencil and paper, I'm like, go with
you're
my
like, I'm
notes, and
ready.
I'm just see me like I'm like okay, okay, and I'll be asking additional questions. I'm like, okay, got it. I got everything down.
Yeah, and I would say like I feel like sometimes it can be scary to reach out to alumni,
Ooh,
like
true.
whether like maybe because of past experiences you've had with maybe some alumni, or even just or maybe you just cross and you don't really know your
Hmm.
alumni, and like, oh, I don't know if I should reach out to them. But definitely, like I always say, not like I always say, but I would say is that don't be afraid to reach out to them. Like you probably like my words. But what do you call it? Your alumni is there, for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They did choose to be alumni for a reason. So I bet they're all more than willing to help you out in whatever you need. Like even if
Yeah.
even if they don't know you, but hey, you're still part of the story. You guys are still sisters. So
Mm-hmm.
regardless of it, if I don't know you, well, guess what? This is my chance to meet you. Hey, what's up? My name is blah blah
Yes.
blah. I'm here to help you now, and boom, there you go. Now you know me, and I know you. You know me, and now
Mm-hmm.
I'll help you out with it. But I think that's also very important. Very important for actives to remember, like, they're there for a reason. Don't be afraid to ask. And maybe if one alum does, if working with one alumni doesn't like really help you out, go to another alumni. There's always an
Mm-hmm.
alumni for something that can help you out with it.
Yes. There's not just one person. And I feel like you said, sometimes it's kind of scary to reach out at first, but it's like meeting a new person in class that you're trying to communicate or doing another project. The only thing, like, what's the worst thing that they can say? No. They can't say nothing else. Like, if they say no, it's like, okay, up off to the next person.
And like also to like seeing that, like sometimes it's hard for us, or we're not used to people telling us no, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like in life that's how it's gonna be. Not it's not
Yeah.
always gonna be a yes or like yeah, or
Or
oh yeah you're doing
maybe.
yeah or yeah whatever you're doing is good. Sometimes you're gonna get in life where it's like actually you're doing this your way. You have to restart everything, or hey
Mm-hmm.
the answer is no. And we had to learn how to deal with that. So dealing with it now helps you also for like the future, for when it does happen. You're like, okay, I have experience with this. I've
Mm-hmm.
been told no, so I know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Versus it being the first time you're like, bruh, why'd you say no?
I'm like, I'm booty hurt. I feel
Yeah,
some people. I'm like,
yeah. Same. So it's like don't take it too hard.
yeah.
It's all this for or maybe sometimes too. I know something sometimes it's happened over here where it's like, hey, I want to do this, and they tell you no, and you're like, but why not? They're like, oh, but
Mm-hmm.
then they tell like, oh, this is the reason why. Maybe like when they're gonna do whatever you're trying to do, the university said, you can't do X or Y.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, thank you. I didn't know about this. So
Yeah.
you never know. Also too, maybe their reason behind. Maybe they've done that extended work. That oh yeah, by the way, we can't do this because X or Y has said that we can't do it. So it's also
Mm-hmm.
too have open ears.
No, yeah, I would agree with that because I think I was about to do like a fundraising. I think last semester, where we like had an idea for a fundraising to do um like food, but we can't have like open food. Like it was pre-made, we had to have it sealed, and we didn't know that until what's it called? One of our alumni is like, actually, we can't do that, and we're like, what do you mean we can't do that? And they're like, well, TW doesn't allow it. We had to make a food registration, or we had to have the food pre-made, and sell it. And we're like, oh, and we're like, never mind, scratch that. Let's do something else.
Yeah. I was like, ah.
Oh, let's see another question.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, bro. My brain's like, it's Saturday.
Oh, it's what's it called? Sunday,
What did I say?
Saturday.
You see, that's how my brain is not even. It's
Brain
like,
is not working today.
yeah, it's a red.
All right. So do you feel like it's kind of hard to talk to alumni when you say like in the opposite way? You know how they say no. Is it hard for us or like as an actor to say no to them?
I think to go off of of the question, I think
Yeah.
it is sometimes like difficult just because I know not to say that they feel entitled, but I know sometimes alumni or like older heads, they're so used to doing stuff or running
Mm-hmm.
yes, I would say doing stuff a certain way, but then you're trying to do it a different way, and sometimes you're like, no, like what are you doing? That's not how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's the thing is to realize is that things change. I don't know, depending on how old, not how old. That sounds rude, but
But
depending how long it's been. There you go. Depending on how long
yeah.
it's been since they've been active, a lot of things can change, and Also, too, I feel like whoever is active during that time, I feel like they also help shape the like the sorority and what pathway is gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as you're not, obviously you're not changing anything drastically. You're still following everything. But hey, maybe you should always do this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now, maybe because of where it's active, they can't do it, or it just doesn't align with whatever they're trying to move forward with it.
Yeah.
Then sometimes you do gotta say, hey, look, like I understand, obviously all with respect, I understand where you're coming from. I understand
Yes.
this or that, but this is how we're. Sorry, I had a burp.
Very good.
But this is how we as currently actives here have decided that works best for us right now. As
Mm-hmm.
long as you're not breaking, like I said, as long as you're not breaking any like major thing, everything is still aligned, then I
Yeah.
don't see nothing wrong with it. But like you said, I do feel like it's always harder to be like, oh, like no one wants to be the first one to say it, or like,
Yeah.
oof. But sometimes, like I said, if it has to be done, like I said, because I feel like whoever is, like I said, whoever is there active right now, they know they're the ones in a sense, running the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to them to, okay, how can they do it? Because maybe whatever was done before doesn't like
Fit.
align. But yeah, that's my opinion. What about you?
Generally, I think exactly the same way. Like you can hear them, you can put their input into it, but at the end of the day, that's your decision. If you feel like, what's it called, that it doesn't, like you said, align to the chapter now and how you guys are trying to grow from it and trying to show it off and everything, it's completely different what they're saying, then it's okay to say no. It's exactly the same vice versa. Like everybody has their own opinions on things, and that's why votes are in and people can do votes are like, okay, which one is better? And when we
Hmm.
can see which point of view it can be on it, it's great to hear that they feel comfortable to say, to come to actors like, hey, like this is what I think that you guys can do. If not, then you guys can figure it out. I just want to voice my opinion. But there's some other ones as well. They're like, why? And you're like, and that's when you have to be like comfortable enough to be like, you know what, actually, I'm so sorry. We can't do that. Like
Hmm.
I'm glad that you guys are so concerned and understanding that what's it called and trying to figure out what's going on. But you guys have to realize we're doing stuff that is completely different and understanding that it can be a different change and it's like generations change. I know a lot of people say no to them and generally understand that they're coming from a good side and they want to see the perspective, but of course it needs to grow from a different perspective on that generation.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's kind of hard to say it because they're older than you and they have more experience and they're trying to see it from a better place, but then also you're the one who's running it, and you guys have to understand, like, not understand, but you guys are like, well, we love that, like we love the input, but it's a no, like we can't unfortunately do that because it doesn't fit in our requirements anymore.
Yeah, and kind of I had two things kind of go off of what we're talking about. One of the
Hmm.
things is like, I feel like, yeah, like, yeah, you can hear people's opinions or what their feedback, but then ultimately it's up to you to decide what feedback, what opinions that you're gonna actually take, and what ones you're just gonna listen to and be like, okay, like, I hear you out,
Hmm.
but thank you for your feedback, thank you for your opinion, but the way we're gonna go is this way, not that way. And
Hmm.
then also too, I was gonna say, sorry, I have like a burp coming up.
No, you're good.
And then also I was gonna say too is, oh, so I always felt too that people, it was just like in general, like when it comes to things changing, it's always gonna be something maybe a little scary or something that
Hmm.
people aren't gonna always be on board with.
Yeah.
But change doesn't always have to be something bad. Change can be something good. And sometimes things do need to change for the better, and sometimes it's gonna take whoever is against it, or a while for them to like fully get like be like, oh, okay, now I see like why you did this, or like, oh, okay, now I see that.
Hmm.
But yes, or sometimes if someone doesn't want to do something, all right, I guess you want to learn the hard way. Let them
Let that
step.
flourish.
yeah, you go on if you don't want my help, or or like if you're really stuck in doing one way, like sometimes you just gotta let them be, and then maybe from then, oh, okay, they'll come back. Okay, I see what you meant now. Okay, cool. So it just also just depends on situation on
Hmm.
like and how you take it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good thing, and sometimes it's like a bad thing. Like there's never like a what's it called? There's always a pros and cons to it. It's never what's it called? Oh my god, like it's one thing. Nah, it's always a good and a bad or pros and cons to it.
Hmm.
I think I do. I feel like sometimes alumni are kind of not sorry, let me reword this. I think alumni are kind of scared sometimes to come back because they feel like the chapter is completely different when they cross. Like they can cross like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and they come back or they're scared to come back because like what if they don't know me? I was like, oh, what if they feel like I'm just coming in and just changing everything? But I would just want to see my chapter to grow. I want to see how much it has changed and everything like that. I feel like that is such a good thing that people want to come in and just like let me just pop in a little bit and like see. And I feel like I've seen it so many times that the like old alums hi, like I'm so and so, and like I'm so sorry, like of course some sisters know them, like one or two of them, but like of course us, we're like who? I was like hi, like of course we had to introduce ourselves, like hi, I'm Joanne Bastidas. She's like yeah, like what's it called? I know this son's this sister, and what's it called? I crossed in this time. This is me. She's like yeah, I'm an alum, and like oh my god, and then we start talking, and then they're like they see her at an event and they're like oh my god everything is different but in a good way, or they're like oh my god like I can't believe we do this certain type of thing now compared to when I was active. We did it a little bit differently, and they're showing that perspective into it, and they're like I was kind of hesitant to come back because I was scared that what's it called that's going to be different and nobody's going to know me, but I feel like welcomed all over again.
Hmm. Yeah, what do you call it? Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like you just got to take the step. I think
Hmm.
about like where you join that work wherever you're at. You're your sisters for life. Even if you don't know them, I guess it can be scary going into a room with and no one that you know. But at least you guys, hey, we all have the same common interest of why we joined here, or hey, we all
Yeah.
stand, or hey, you're here in this sorority, so am I. We share, we must share, same values or something like that. So,
Mhm.
at least you can know that there's something that even if you don't know anyone, that you have something in common with them, that there's
Mhm.
something there. So I would say, take that step, go out there
Yes.
and see, like I said, and I think it is nice to be able to come back and see like, oh wow, like things have changed, or like damn, or yeah, like damn, like
Uh,
like I didn't know this was here. I was like, hold up, do I have my letters? I'm like,
no, yeah, I know what's it called. My Len's sister, her aunt was a sister as well, and she came to one of our events. It was, I think, her family event that we were doing, and she came to 2W. She's like, TW has grown so much. She's like, that's crazy. And we're like, really? And she's like, yeah, I crossed it this time. She was like, this is what's this happening. She's like, it's crazy to come back and see everything and how it's changed and how like my niece is seeing everything and how she experienced it. And she's like, I'm so happy that she's there. And I'm like, oh, I was like, that is so cute.
well, there is our, I would say, kind of like how people go on blind dates. This was our like blind podcast where we just literally just talked
Yes.
and talked. Nothing like specific. We literally
Mm-hmm.
like a few minutes before this, we're like, what should we talk about today? And boom,
Yes.
here it is.
We
But
found a
yes,
topic.
yes. And actually, would be cool is that we should try to get to have any like alumni. If there's anyone alumni who are listening, like,
Mm,
hey, you want to give your perspective on anything or how it's been for you, if you've gone back to your sorority or your fraternity, either or. If you want to be like, hey, I would like to give a little podcast on my opinions or like my experiences. hook us up. We would
Yes.
love to have you on here. But yes, but that is going to conclude today's podcast. And thank you guys all for tuning in and listening to our podcast for today. Don't forget, you can listen to us on YouTube or Spotify or literally anywhere else where you see your, where you listen to podcast. And that's all for today. We will be back soon next week, hopefully, for the next one. And that is all we have today. But thank you guys all and have a good Thanksgiving break if you celebrate
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
true, true, true.
Bye.
Bye.